Welcome to Chesapeake Weekly. The Public Utilities Department has kept their water and sewer rates the same since 2016, but rising costs are requiring a small increase for 2020. We went straight to the top and spoke to Public Utilities Director David Juergens about the increase.
Effective January 1st of 2020, we have a 2% rate increase coming into effect for both water and wastewater services for the city of Chesapeake. That means to an average residential customer, it will be $2 per month more for their water and sewer bill from the city of Chesapeake. Or for a bi-monthly bill, it'll be $4 more on average for a residential customer, $4 per bi-monthly billing period. The reason for the rate increase is because costs are going up. Our salaries have gone up 2.5% or 3.5% each of the last several years. The cost of construction is going up for us to get contracted work done. Just costs are increasing. Our contracted water that we purchase from Norfolk and Portsmouth, those costs are going up per year, the rates that we pay for those. So we have not had a rate increase since 2016. Our last rate increase was July 1st of 2016. We did have a rate increase that was approved, a 4.9% for July 1st of 2017, that was canceled at that time. And it was determined that we could actually do without that rate increase, but we at that same time committed to have a 2% rate increase this January, and then a second 2% rate increase next January 1st.
If you've ever wondered the difference between HRSD, HRUBS, and public utilities, you're not alone. All three do different things, but they're all related.
Bills for City of Chesapeake water and wastewater customers are sent to them by HRUBS, HRUBS. They are a contract service that work for HRSD, and they send out a combined bill from the City of Chesapeake for water, for wastewater, and also for HRSD wastewater service. So that bill actually reflects three separate components of the service they receive: the water service, the wastewater service from Chesapeake, and the wastewater treatment service from HRSD. The HRSD portion, they actually had about a 9% rate increase effective July 1st of last year. So any bill increase that they saw in the summertime, that rate increase was an HRSD function.
If you ever have a question about your bill or utility service, there is a customer service line you can call during normal operating hours. It's 382-6352. You can also find more information online at cityofchesapeake.net/water. Work on the Great Bridge Battlefield and Waterways History Museum is in the home stretch. The foundation hopes to open its doors to the past next month. The progress is in large part thanks to the dozens of community members, organizations, and businesses who have stepped up to see this project come to life. We caught up with Executive Director Lynn Olson, who gave us the latest on this historic endeavor.
Well, we closed out 2019, and coming into 2020, we are finalizing the museum. It's been a long haul, but you know what? It's going to be worth the wait. We have been so blessed with so many talented in-kind donations. One's working behind me right now, Kimball Thompson. He designed and has been fabricating this wonderful cage bar. The cage bar is what they had in the taverns during the 1700s. People would travel through the villages. They would stop, hear the news of the day, stay, have a meal, possibly sleep on the floor. Hence, that's the reason for the bars on the cage bar, and that's how a bar is called a bar today.
The tavern keeper or ordinary keeper could lock up his alcohol, beer, rum, more likely spirits. It required some research, going to Colonial Williamsburg and looking in the taverns up there and taking photographs. Every one is different. It seemed to be what was required for the tavern or ordinary, what the carpenter's skill set was, what the materials were available. They all seemed to be different. It's been great. It's a lot of fun to walk through here and see the various craftsmen and the various volunteers and the various professionals doing work here. And it seems to be almost an overnight sort of thing that all of a sudden we've gone from what was a relatively empty room to something that clearly is starting to look like what will be a museum and an interpretation and an explanation of the Battle of Great Bridge.
The brick I am so excited about. Years ago when they were taking down the old school building in Great Bridge from 1907, I received phone calls asking if we could do something to help them. And so I asked if the city would preserve the brick. We've been able to utilize it in the museum, and it's showcasing the burning of Norfolk, but it's the old school brick. In addition to that, in the tavern, we're going to have a warming fireplace, and that's also the old brick.
We wanted to donate our time and effort to the community to help out on this project with the whole historical brick. Well, the wall is to represent the outside exterior of a house, in the colonial days. No, it's a little different where we have to preserve how they built it back then, the way we implement the ways of using the brick and the mortar and how we join it to make it look authentic. It looks good, and I think everybody in the public will be enjoying to see what it looked like back in the colonial days.
We can't be located on the water without talking about our local waterways. And of course, the Army Corps of Engineers is key to that. We've been very fortunate that the Army Corps has shared with us the original control panel from 1950 that was right here in Great Bridge, as well as the bell that they used to ring back in 1950 to let the local citizens know that they were going to raise the bridge. Power Electric is coming back, and they're going to finalize the actual lights that are going to showcase our museum exhibits. There's a lot that goes into that. It's not just simply putting a light fixture up. Some of the key features that we're finalizing as the featured wall that was done by Harry Murphy himself of Murphy's Fence. He's been working very hard on it along with our volunteers, as well as Capital Interiors out of Richmond. They came in and they fabricated all of our walls throughout this museum area. And again, that was another donation by people. Everybody has come out of the woodworks to help us. And that's what really we're showing here is there's something here for everybody. And we just welcome you to be a part of it.
Most of the lumber, building supplies, and talent have been donated by local stores. There's always more room for support, so if you want to find a way that you can help, visit gbbattlefield.org. Chesapeake police are reporting an increase in thefts of wallets and purses from vehicles, particularly those parked at daycare centers. Leaving valuables in your car is never a good idea, even if you'll only be gone for a few minutes. Here are some tips on how you can avoid being one of the victims.
We've seen an increase in larcenies from vehicles, both in residential areas, primarily in the overnight hours, where vehicles are left unsecured, unlocked in their driveways or parking lots of apartment and townhouse complexes. And then we also seen it sometimes during the daylight hours in shopping complexes, malls, large department stores, Walmarts, Targets, things like that. Unfortunately, people, a lot of times they leave their vehicles unsecured, unlocked. They leave windows down, leave windows cracked far enough where you can reach your arms inside. And a lot of folks, unfortunately, leave a lot of valuables in plain sight. It doesn't matter if you're gone for 5 minutes or 5 days. We really suggest that you lock your cars, windows up, doors locked all the time. Even had incidences where folks have left firearms or other weapons in the vehicle, unlocked in glove boxes or center consoles, and then left the doors unlocked, and people get in and take them. If you find that it's necessary, there's different safes built specifically for vehicles. It makes the safe basically become part of the vehicle, and it's a more secure way to do that.
Chesapeake Police encourage you to report all crimes, and they have several ways for you to do so. You should always call 911 immediately for any life-threatening emergency. But for lesser crimes, such as theft under $200, vandalism, credit card theft, these types of crimes should be reported to the non-emergency line. That's 382-6161, or even online at cityofchesapeake.net/police. That way we can keep our 911 responders available to deal with the critical life-threatening emergencies. Well, it's not karate, but this green belt training will kick employees into gear. Chesapeake staff recently partnered with staff from Newport News to learn process improvement techniques through the Lean Six Sigma program.
Since we've grown to such a large size, that we can really be the most efficient that we can be with the resources that we have in terms of not just employees and our staff that we have, but also in terms of our materials, our equipment, our buildings, our processes. We really want to make things better across the city and for our citizens.
City of Newport News I have been working closely with Vic on a number of potential collaborative opportunities. She's been providing some great assistance on what has been going on here in the city of Chesapeake as far as process improvement. There was the opportunity to do some joint training, and that's what you see here today.
I've worked this is now my 4th budget office over the past several years across the country, and I've noticed that there are many processes that we have that tend to not tie together and have a lot of inefficiencies. So what I'm getting out of it are various ways that I can work with my staff to help improve certain processes to make it more efficient and give them the time to be better analysts.
What I've been very interested about this course really is that I can see how applicable it is for people who are in various stages of their planning experience and career. For myself, I've worked in planning for a long time. I got an MBA 3 years ago. It really put a lot of processes in place to help refine the public process, but it didn't put things together like Six Sigma does. It really relates the process, interrelates the different processes, so you can see how progressively to use the different steps. It's the same, a lot of them are the same strategies we learn in business school, but here it's very strategic about how to implement them progressively, how to instill it in the community throughout your departments. It makes it actionable.
They're going to be teaching students how to identify where some opportunities are for improvement in their areas where they're actually doing the work. And by then identifying those opportunities, they're chartering up some projects, pulling together a team of experts, and going in and identifying what some of the root causes are for these opportunities being there for improvement, and then determining what some of the best solutions are, implementing those solutions, and then monitoring and sustaining those improvements they put in place.
Chesapeake Public Schools is holding 4 community school safety forums over the next several months. Members of the School Safety Task Force will share their proactive approaches to ensuring the safety of students and staff, and they welcome public feedback. The first forum is on January 22nd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Deep Creek High School. There will be a forum held once a month through April at a different school each time. View the full schedule at cpschools.com. The Army Corps of Engineers will host a citizen information meeting to discuss the Deep Creek Bridge Replacement Project on Thursday, January 30th from 5 to 7 at Deep Creek Middle School. Learn the latest on the project, view exhibits, and ask questions of project staff. You can learn more about the project now by visiting its webpage at cityofchesapeake.net. An exciting new program has started in Chesapeake. It's the Chesapeake Forum, and through it there will be several speakers coming to our city to help promote education by engaging diverse audiences and fostering meaningful community conversation. The first speaker is award-winning journalist Jane Pauley. She'll speak at the Chesapeake Conference Center on Wednesday, January 29th, starting at 7 p.m. Tickets are $50, but you may want to consider buying a subscription for all the 2020 speakers. Learn more and get your tickets at thechesapeakeforum.org. Well, if you haven't had a Girl Scout knock on your door yet, it's only a matter of time. It's Girl Scout cookie season, aka the happiest time of the year. And because the Girl Scouts are all about balance, they host their annual 5K run right in the middle of cookie season. On Saturday, January 18th, the Cookie Classic Run will offer timed 1-mile, 5K, and 10K races at the Dismal Swamp Canal Trail. The 10K starts at 9, the 5K at 9:15, and the 1-mile at 10:30. All the proceeds from this great event go back to the Girl Scouts in our community through the Girl Scout Council of Colonial Coast. Registration and race information is available at gsccc.org. The monthly Skywatch at Northwest River Park is coming up on Saturday, January 18th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's a great opportunity for aspiring astronomers to explore the night sky with the help of Back Bay amateur astronomers. See planets, star clusters, nebula, and galaxies. You'll also get a quick 101 in how to use a telescope. The event is weather dependent, so call 421-7151 to confirm it's taking place. Upcoming holidays will alter city hours this week and next. On Friday, January 17th, city offices, courts, and libraries will be closed. Community centers will be open on limited hours from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday, January 20th is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. In commemoration, all offices and facilities, including community centers, will be closed for the entire day. There will be no changes to the trash or recycling collection schedules or to the Chesapeake Visitor Center schedules on either date. You can get more details online at cityofchesapeake.net. That's all we've got for you for this week's edition of Chesapeake Weekly. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.